This morning we got a visit from Child Protective Services. I told this story on the show a few weeks ago about how when we adopted Olive, she had Giardia. And then the next day, Sonny started having diarrhea, so we suspected he might have Giardia. Seeing as that he's an infant, he's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, etc. Makes sense, right? It's obvious. It turned into this whole snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog everywhere, that Sonny is eating and getting Giardia. Well, it culminated in somebody finally, an anonymous call went into them on the 3rd, saying that they were somebody that works at the house, and they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog and getting viruses.
He wanted to look at everything.
Well, the house is spotless.
He was checking the house and like, where do the dogs go potty? Because we heard that there's poop on the floor.
And then the part that, in my opinion, crossed the line was like, so I'm gonna visit your kids at school and ask them questions. And I says, you're not doing that. But I mean, at what point is it like, and this is something, if you go on Reddit and you go on the snarks, this is something, and the new snark that they all migrated to is completely unmoderated. This is something that this is a narrative that they've picked up and talk about all the time. I think Reddit is just waiting for me to kill myself.
I can't even do a funny intro. This is just sad. I'm going to be entirely honest. Never in my life have I seen such a baseless hate mob against a person that will take the smallest thing they found online and use it to drive a spear against a person. What I'm referring to is the hate mob against Ethan Klein, and I feel it's safe to say that he got fucked over the most in the situation that I'll be covering. As you can already guess from the title and thumbnail, him and his wife, Hila, had Child Protective Services called on their 3 kids. But the reason why this is so shocking to me was that they were called by a random person, we don't know who, simply because of an unbased allegation that they were living in fucking squalor. If that really sounds insane, please get ready to see how this originated. Also, stick around later, because even though we don't know who called CPS and they want to stay anonymous, there's a pretty popular streamer, Denims, that peddled these allegations. Like, with so much bad faith that I'm going to say that she deserves to be sued because of it. I'm not even kidding. So the origin for this was from this guy, Froggy Tonic, who was an ex-editor for Ian, iDubbbz, and Anissa, and for some reason, out of the blue, they tweeted, just learned 2 years before Ethan's dog death, some hate-free fans voiced concerns for his chronic vomiting, pointing to kidney failure. Got shown by other fans, even declined the advice, stayed course, Jesus treat. Fast forward, the dog dies of kidney failure at 6 years old, lifespan 13 years old. So already, it sounds pretty bad. So now, how can you... Okay, this part actually pissed me off so bad when I read this. I'll explain why in a second. So now, how can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids, when they can't be bothered to protect their own dogs? Little homie even ingested pills left on the floor. Like, come on, man. Okay, so these allegations came out of nowhere. Like, my God, that sounds awful. So he even had a dog, his name's Shredder, by the way. He had a dog, and he never took care of him, he died a painful death. That sounds awful. But now, let's go and see what he even had to say, and the full story about this. Because this guy, I don't want to be that guy, but there's not much evidence for this, somewhat unbased, baseless actually, I meant to say. And so Ethan, mother of God, he dropped a fucking atom bomb, a content nuke on this guy about how fucking moronic this is, and it's all just a lie that this guy heard about and literally, peddled it as if it was fact when he had no idea, about it. And essentially what it says here, because it's fucking massive, was that yeah, he was lying. He had a dog and he took very well care of him. He loved him a lot and it broke his heart when he died. Now, I have no idea who heard about this, but I think they were told this story from Ethan, and then they gave it to Froggy, who also, perceived it in the worst way possible. I want to say Ian, because this guy was the ex-editor for him, but I can't really prove that, so I'm not sure. Either way, for this guy, to prove how much bad faith he has, for this guy, to make allegations and not even verify them with Ethan himself, yeah, I think this guy, is just full of malice. Like, there's just no other explanation. So to go back to this and why it pissed me off so bad, it's just insane to me that he'd be like, oh my god, he can barely take care of his dog. The kids, they're probably living equally as bad. You're fucking evil. How can you say that? Like, good God. And again, I'm nearly certain that he heard about this from a different person and he gave so little of a shit. He didn't want you to contact Ethan about this, before tweeting it. No, he talked about it and was like, oh yeah, I'm so sure of it that I think, his own kids are in danger. Which leads me to my next tweet that he made after that shows that this guy is just a scumbag through and through. Okay, it was this one. So he tweeted a picture of Ethan's story and he said, brother, you're 49. Go pick up the leftover Lexus, whatever, and Addies off the carpet and go clean the feces off your floor. Didn't one of your kids get girdier? Come on, man. You're beefing with Rando, who wants you and your family to be happy. Stop bathing his toxic pattern. You have no idea how bad this is. Number one, he's being like, oh my god, dude, you're insane. You're beefing with me. You're beefing with a person that made insane allegations about you fucking treating your dog horribly. How can you be mad about that? Like, he's a retard. And also, so he went from one horrible allegation that he knew nothing about to another one, much worse, saying that Ethan is so careless that he lets his dog share around the house and his kids get sick from it. This is just evil, I swear to God. And also, by the way, I call this allegations, but in reality, in my mind, this first tweet is just nothing. Because for it to be allegations, it needs a base, some evidence. But this guy, Frogitonic, gave nothing at all. So yeah, I don't really care for a response from Ethan. I mean, he gave a pretty good one, but if he didn't make one, I wouldn't really mind. Because yeah, there's not really an origin for this, like a reason for me to believe it in the first place. So this first one, this allegations, yeah, I don't believe it. And the second one, I also don't believe it. The one charitable thing I'll say for him is that, there are some people that went to his DMs and told him, to kill himself. Now, don't do that. That's awful. But, I'm pretty sure that Ethan, never proved that at all. Regardless, there's never a good thing to be seeing in a drama from either sides. But again, this guy is really pathetic. So he made two allegations that his dog was, treated so bad that it died a painful death, and that his house is so fucking filthy, his own kids get sick from the dog shit everywhere. And when Ethan or somebody else invited him onto the podcast, he just said no. Well, I mean, he says, it's a bit longer, but the conversation was this: hi, would you be interested in calling to the podcast? And he said, hi, I would have said yes many months ago, but no, I do not revel in this situation. Tell him to talk to Hassan for the beef and Ian for clearly what is a misunderstanding. Ian wasn't even fully aware of the situation with Hassan. Be aware that using Hassan hate and testing his audience as a crutch is not a good cause. Keep me off your pod, make Ian get some help, have a good week. You're fucking pathetic. Again, if I was a parent, I would be infuriated by this, by some random Twitter saying that I'm such a bad parent, that my own dogs die because of me, and that my kids get fucking girdier. You are so evil. This guy it's just pathetic again. I think that after this, he realized oh, I fucked up. But the fact that he stuck to his own guns so much, being like, no, I'm not gonna clarify myself. I'm not gonna say sorry at all on your podcast. Yeah, fuck him. I have no sympathy for him. But this is the part where it gets really sad, because for some reason, okay, so that tweet was made. Let me find it. This, crazy allegations came on around March 4th, right? And these allegations, it went around so much in the snark community, or just people that hate Ethan, that one person, we don't know who, they called CPS on Ethan and Healer, and unfortunately, they actually got a visit. Ethan and Healer talked about this on the live stream from yesterday, and I also watched for a second because it's so miserable. Again, for a parent, to have child protective services called on them by some schizo online, by some random snarker, you have no idea how much that would piss you off.
Child protective services. Because, I told this story on the show a few weeks ago about how when we adopted Olive, she had Giardia. And then the next day, Sonny started having diarrhea, so we suspected he might have Giardia. seeing it.
It's such a bizarre origin of a story. He got giardia, but it wasn't from eating shit off the floor from the dogs, because he was that careless of not cleaning up the house. It's like one of those things where the best or the worst lies come from half truths, where it was true to a degree, but not all of it.
Etc. Makes sense, right? It's obvious. So it turned into this whole snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog shit everywhere, that Sonny is eating shit and getting giardia, and that, et cetera, et cetera.
It's actually disgusting.
And,
holy shit.
Well, it culminated in somebody finally, an anonymous call went into them on the 3rd.
Yeah, that part pissed me off so much. Some guy was like, oh my god, I'm gonna call CPS on them, and they said anonymous. I think, nuclear take, if you call services like that on some random parents, you deserve to be held accountable if you've been proven to be, fucking around with that tip about them.
Saying that they were somebody that works at the house, and they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog shit and getting viruses. And they were able to provide enough details because of what I said on the show to make it appear that it was somebody. He said, when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay. So, they used...
They lied about who they were. Fuck this person.
I was pretty surprised. One anonymous call. I was like, that's all it takes. But I guess the thing is, he was like, we thought it was someone who...
Yeah. I can't imagine how scary.
The guy was very nice. He was a very professional,
Yeah, I should probably say now as well before I go on further. But yeah, thankfully the guy that visited him was like, okay, nothing bad is going on, so I'll just leave. Bro, if it was some bad employee that just sucked at his job and took their kids, off them right away, that'd be way more miserable. But thankfully that didn't happen. I'm not sure if that could have happened, because I feel they need a lot of evidence to be written down and to be seen at the house. But I feel one bad employee would be so biased that it would take them away in that first second they saw them.
Young guy, very nice. At first, he's not from our world. He doesn't understand. And I tried to explain this is part of this harassment campaign. We've been visited by the FBI. We've been swatted. This and that.
Bro, imagine being if it was an employee that was part of this drama, they were fully aware of even Klein and H3 Snark, they would be like, oh yeah, makes sense. Unfortunately, but yeah, for a random person, that would just be a different language for them. What? You're telling me some random person on Reddit hates you so much that they called me, CPS, on you to take away your kids? I'm sure after some explaining and showing it online, they would believe it. But hearing that's the first reason would make you be like, are you telling the truth?
We talked for a while. He gets it, but there's certain things that I guess he has to do. So he looked all. You walked around with him. I was upset about the whole thing.
Well,
I feel so bad for Halo as well.
I'm very upset as well.
He was.
Because even the main guy of the show, he has somewhat thicker skin. Even for something like this, where your kids get visited by CPS, even the person with the thicker skin would be heartbroken or incredibly furious at this.
I had to look at everything.
Well, the house is spotless.
It was checking the house and where do the dogs go potty, because we heard that there's poop on the floor.
The house is spotless.
Our house is...
Yeah, also, if it's an anonymous tip, then they would probably show up on a random day. And if they did, and they saw the house spotless, they would be like, okay, they clearly aren't hiding anything, and the house is not covered in shit. The kids are not eating, random shit off the floor to get dirtier. Job done. Why would you need to spend more time there?
They have a giant backyard, and then they even have this enclosure that we built just for them so they can go out safely at night. Then I showed him the kids' rooms, and he's like, oh yeah, lots of toys. And I'm like, yep, lots of toys.
Lots of toys. No shit on the ground to eat off.
And he fucking woke up Sonny that was taking a nap.
I woke up Sunny on.
Not on purpose, but he wanted to take a look. And Sunny's like, they sense everything.
That's what, like, how, I'm not gonna say scarred, because, I'm guessing from what they're saying, the guy seemed very friendly. But imagine being a kid and seeing a random person come to your house and be like, hey, I'm here to investigate your parents. If they're bad, I'm gonna take you away. Like, that is so fucking evil. I really want to say, like, the snarker, the enormous person that called them, they really saw themselves as a good person, saving kids. But on the other hand, they had no evidence to go off, so deep down, they could not give a shit, if some good was being done. All they cared, just fucking with Ethan and his family. It's fucking his kids. Again, even like the most evil person would stop behind the line of messing with someone's kids. Like, how malicious do you have to be to go over that? Yeah, I think I'll probably stop here. They go and talk about like how he offered to go to this school on a random day and talk to them, even more, and they shut him down. And he was like, okay, fair enough. So like this guy was this poor, again, no shit against him, but as a random CPS worker was really worried because from a tip they got anonymously that told him that the kids were eating shit off the floor, getting dirtier. Like, I feel bad for everyone involved, even healer, the kids, the CPS worker. But again, fuck, that the anonymous tip that called in. They're just purely evil. Okay, so to go back to what I said before about a popular streamer, Denims, being sued for peddling allegations, when I saw this clip, I was actually blown away. Like I said before, these dirty allegations seem to be spread around so much that even, someone called CPS and Denims heard about it. Now, okay, let me be honest. If you hear about allegations, there's nothing wrong with talking about them on your stream. However, never spread them as fact that you're confident you improve. Because if you say that the alleged things did happen 100%, then you could get sued for defamation. So watch this clip and tell me, like, she doesn't seem confident and that she isn't talking about it like it's facts 100%. As I was saying now as well, I don't know why, but this clip that I found was sped up. I apologize for that, but it was the only way I could show it right now in the video.
Also, he literally makes fun of Mike from PA about weight all the time. That's not relevant to his arguments either. Yeah, I mean, I don't even make fun of people's weight. I've never made fun of people's weight. I do make fun of people's posture. If you're making an active decision that, you don't give a fuck about your health or your posture or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are getting giardia, that's the image of someone who is not well. Wait, what? Wait, what, Dems? Wait, what? You guys didn't know about this? Yeah.
Okay, if you treat this stuff with no caution at all, and you say it like she did right now in that clip, you deserve to be sued. How fucking disgusting are you to see something on Twitter and believe it 100% because you hate this person, and then say on your live stream to spread more misinformation or so disinformation. Either way, she brought it up like it was facts, like it was proven. If you handle allegations like that, you deserve to be sued into poverty. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna finish the video by saying that I really do wish the best for Ethan and Healer. I would ironically be fucking furious at this kind of stuff if I was a parent. I did want to bring up the beef they had with Ina and Anissa about how they weren't willing to make a comment about that jackass Froggy Tonic, but I feel like a different thing, by itself. And there's already so much in this video that I want you to be focused on 3 things. Number 1, that scumbag Froggy Tonic, the anonymous person that gave the tip, and Denims. All 3 of those characters I have no sympathy for, because in my mind they have operated in nothing else but just malice. If another person gave a tip to CPS, hopefully it would go smoother because of the false alarm the first time. But honestly, I would not be surprised if it happened again. I wish I could name a solution for this, but this is so insane, I can't even come up with one at all.